So, you're looking for a dog trainer here in Warrington, Pennsylvania, and you want to get it right. Well, you're in the right place. We're going to walk through everything you need to know to make a really solid decision for you and your best friend.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, isn't it? It's about making your life together easier and more fun. Enjoying those calm walks in our local parks, or not having to worry when you pop into a shop.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why training specifically for life here in Warrington matters. Then we'll get into what makes a trainer great, what different programs cost, the key questions you absolutely have to ask, and finally, some local rules and resources you'll want to know about. Let's start with this idea of training for Warrington life. This is really important because good training isn't just about teaching commands in your living room. It's about preparing your dog for the real world right outside your door. I mean, think about your dog's actual day-to-day. It's walking down streets like Maple Avenue, dealing with the cars and people around the Eastern Road shopping centers, and of course, learning to be cool and calm around everyone at Central Park. A good local trainer gets this and helps you tackle these exact situations. So, how do you spot a trainer who can actually do that? Let's get into the specifics of what makes a great one, starting with how they train and what kind of qualifications they have. The term you're going to hear a lot, and for good reason, is positive reinforcement. Basically, it's about rewarding your dog for getting it right. This isn't just about bribery with treats, it's about building a trusting relationship where your dog actually enjoys learning. The results just stick so much better this way. Now, here's something to know. Pennsylvania doesn't have a licensing system for dog trainers. That means it's really up to you to check their background. These certifications you see here are a huge green flag. The CPD-TKA is a solid, well-respected credential. KPA-CTP is fantastic. It's from Karen Pryor's Academy, who is a giant in the field. And if you're dealing with tougher issues, seeing something like an IABC or CBCCKA certification means they have specialized skills. All right, let's talk about the practical stuff, the different ways you can get training, and of course, what it's likely to cost here in our area. So you've generally got two main choices to start: group classes or private lessons. Group classes are awesome for practicing focus when there are other dogs and people around. But if the problems you're having are happening in your house, like going crazy when the doorbell rings or jumping on the counter, private lessons are often the way to go because you're solving the problem exactly where it occurs. Okay, let's look at the numbers. This gives you a ballpark for training costs in Warrington and the surrounding Bucks County area for 2025. A group class series is usually the most budget-friendly option. As you can see, things like board and train programs are a much bigger financial commitment. This should help you figure out what might work for your budget. All right, so you've found a couple of trainers that look promising. Now what? It's time for a little interview. Here's a checklist of questions you should definitely be asking. The very first thing you want to ask is about their methods. You're listening for words like positive reinforcement. Ask them how they make sure the dog isn't stressed out. You want to feel confident that they're going to make learning a good experience for your dog. Next, don't be shy about asking about their qualifications. A good trainer is proud of their education and is always learning more. Asking if they pursue continuing education shows you they're serious about staying current in their field. This one is huge. Ask them how they'll tailor the plan specifically for your dog and your life here. The answer shouldn't be a generic script. It should reflect that they've listened to your specific goals, whether that's walking nicely on your street or behaving at the vet. And finally, ask them how you'll both know it's working. A real pro will have a clear way to track progress. They should be able to tell you what success looks like for each step and when it's time to move on to the next challenge. Okay, let's switch gears and talk a bit more about our local area. Part of having a well-behaved dog is being a responsible owner, and that means knowing the rules and the great local resources we have. Here's a really simple one that everyone should know. In all of Warrington's public spaces, including all our parks, your dog's leash can't be longer than 6 feet. This is all about safety and making sure everyone feels comfortable, so it's a good idea to leave those long retractable leashes for another time. This is a big one. It's a Pennsylvania state law. By the time your dog is 3 months old, they need to have their rabies vaccine and be officially licensed with Bucks County. It's just a fundamental part of dog ownership here. Now for the fun part, places to practice. Central Park, right here in Warrington, is perfect for working on those on-leash skills. If you need a safe place for some off-leash fun, the dog park at Veterans Park in Doylestown is great. Core Creek Park is also fantastic for practicing focus on busier trails. And always remember the Bucks County SPCA as a great resource for things like vaccine clinics. All of this work
Finding the trainer, doing the homework, it's such an investment, but it truly pays off because a well-trained dog just makes every part of your life together that much easier.
Just picture it. Calmer walks around the neighborhood, vet visits that aren't a huge ordeal, and just a really wonderful, happy life with your dog here in Warrington. Finding the right trainer is the first step. Good luck on your training journey.